Hey everybody, today I want to talk about one of my least favorite conservative content creators, Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder recently has had quite the media blow up. Not only was his divorce announced by him, he also had a video leaked, including him and his soon-to-be ex-wife, in which he verbally abused her and emotionally abused her and shouted at her, and it was just a general piece of shit. So we're going to watch those together today. We're going to kind of take a look at those. I'm going to offer some commentary on it. For me, Steven Crowder has been a villain in my book. Even before I was such a radical leftist and socialist. I, in high school, used to see videos of, change my mind, and him and Ben Shapiro were my two most hated motherfucking conservatives ever. Those two, even when I was, like I said, even when I was a conservative or kind of centrist or whatever, trying to figure out who I was or what I really believed, fighting the juxtaposition of what I grew up with and the values I learned growing up in that system, they didn't mix, they didn't match, and I ended up becoming a leftist. And even when I wasn't, camera freeze, nice. Even when I wasn't, I still fucking hated them. I agreed with a lot of what they said, but I thought these guys are such scum. They're so gross, the way they do things. Oh, gotcha. Oh, surprise. Didn't expect me to pull one over on you and trick you into thinking what I think, right? Haha, gotcha, liberal. I hate that shit. And that cheap charlatan trash is all of these two peddle. And so much of it is based on their worldview that they just assume is correct, you know? That's the thing about that so many of us are trying to fight against and realizing is that the hegemonic worldview of the West is so narrow and is so limiting and restricting, and really just has no basis in reality a lot of the time. And a lot of what we believe is what we're taught to believe. So I'll dig into the video now. I'll just dive right in. I'll kind of offer some commentary as I do that. Obviously, trigger warning, this guy's a giant piece of shit. He's going to say some terrible things about his wife. He's going to say some terrible things to his wife. Be forewarned, but we're digging in. Guys, I also have a very special surprise for you. I finally figured out how to record video while recording video. So we're going to be able to actually show you guys what I'm talking about. We'll be able to pull up articles, watch videos. It's going to transform the content a lot more and actually give more context to what I'm trying to do. I started from ground zero, so forgive me for taking so long to figure out how to do all this. It's a slow process. Working 40 hours a week and being in school and taking care of a dog and trying to take care of myself. It's hard to find the time, but baby steps. I'm keeping with it. So big surprise. Here's the video. We're going to watch it together. Let's get into it.
Proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either.
That was important. That was very important. No kind of infidelity and no kind of physical abuse. Obviously, I kind of gave it away a little bit in the earlier part of the video, but this fucking piece of shit went screaming at his wife, but he made sure to say there's no physical abuse. Make sure you remember that. No physical abuse. Let's be very clear, okay? Make those distinctions. It's important. We can't have any kind of libel or anything later on down the road. We want to make sure that when this court case happens, Steven, obviously, our hands are clean, baby. So let's keep going.
Side, and no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life.
It's too good, man. It writes itself. In the state of Texas, My wife is legally permitted to leave me. That's what he just said, man. Let's go back a little bit and watch that again because that's good stuff right there.
And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted.
It's awesome, dude. He's just openly admitting that she shouldn't be allowed to leave him in the state of Texas. That is legally allowed. Dude, God forbid your wife has free will. God forbid the court protects your wife's right to leave your dumb fucking ass. Oh man. So I'm just gonna get pissed off in this video, guys. Heads up. I trigger warning for what he says, but trigger warning for how fucking angry I'm about to get. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna have a good slant, but I fucking hate this dude. So get ready for me to just rip him a new one.
It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible, and I still believe that children need...
Dude. Oh, there's Bella. Hey, Bella. Dude, I just don't even know what to say about this. Like, he has spent years cutting anti-single parent family content. He has spent years demeaning and downing on black people, on any sort of minority families, because they historically have more single parent households. He moralizes it and makes it something that's... Camera freeze. Good one. He moralizes it and makes it something that is morally wrong. That these people are insufficient. They're deficient. They're doing something wrong. Why can't they make their marriages work? Why don't they just pull themselves up by their bootstraps and be better parents, be better spouses? And he never overtly... he has overtly said things like that before. I'm not directly quoting him, but that's obviously the slant he's usually going for. And it's fucking hilarious given this next video you'll see after this one. Let's keep going though.
Need a mom and a dad, and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter. In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period. So for well over a year, in the best interest as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it private.
Here's another thing he says. He says, the physical safety of my children. How are your children physically unsafe if you publicly speak about a divorce? This guy's such a fucking charlatan and moron. The whole reason he's talking about this is so that he can construe what Candace Owens did later as something that's unsafe for his kids. It has nothing to do with the kids' safety or their privacy. And let's keep going to hear what he says about his kids and their involvement.
Privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. And all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault, and so we decided to resolve these issues privately.
My children are blameless. This has nothing to do with my kids. I don't hate my kids. I definitely do not hate my children. I mean, this guy's such a fucking joke, man. He's so fucking... I don't even have words to say what I think about this guy. Obviously, it's not your kids. Your kids are super young. And why would you ever openly admit that it was your kids who did it? It feels, obviously, conjecture, but it feels like some weird way of sidestepping the fact that he fucking hates his kids. I mean, at this point, with everything else we're about to see, it's hard to say, but let's keep going.
As it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is... and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long. Many other people knew about this behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage.
Okay, the rest of this is boring as hell. He's talking about Candy Owens. He's talking about how she's using this as a means to twist the knife on him a little bit. Obviously, he's construing that as something that's risking his safety, the safety of his children, I mean, and kiss my fucking ass. You're such a moron, man. Things that are private, of course, shouldn't be exposed, but she didn't openly expose any of this. At the time when Steven Crowder was getting, what she said came at the time when Steven Crowder was getting a lot of heat. A clip had resurfaced where he had talked about or what is it? He called Dr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. And everybody thought he was openly admitting that he was bi. And he had said this years ago, but it resurfaced recently. And around that time, she said something about him having a lot of stuff going on. He's construing what she said as hinting at the divorce. But everybody just thought the dude was gay and wouldn't admit it. And let me say, obviously, nothing wrong with that. Big fan of the LGBT community, big supporter. But this dude is not. Obviously, this dude fucking hates the LGBTQ community. He hates people who are okay with their existence. He's a giant fucking asshole who cuts propaganda about how terrible they are, while also admitting that at one point he was a member of that community in whatever regard you want to call it. He was bi at one point. He had those leanings, those curiosities. So he's able to acknowledge that there's some part of him that has those leanings, that has those previous urgings that he just had such a hard time overcoming, that evil, deep, dark part of me, so sensual, so intimate. But he has to suppress it. He has to keep it down for you, for his good Christian community. Fuck you, idiot. I fucking hate this guy. All right. So that's the first video. Let's get to the second one. Guys, I did it on my own. I did it on accident. I fixed my mic in between recordings, okay? I went back and I was watching that last recording I did and I said, nope, that sucks. Listen to that mic. That sounds terrible. That's not working. I threw a compressor on it in OBS and I think it sounds a lot better now. If it does, the second half of this video is gonna sound way fucking better than the first half. Just bear with me and enjoy the better audio, and know that from now on, all my videos are gonna have better audio. All right, second video, again, trigger warning. This actually depicts Steven Crowder shouting at his wife. This is around the time they ended up initializing the divorce. Something that came out recently in an open statement from Steven Crowder is that Steven actually initiated the divorce. So in that first video, Steven talks about, oh, my wife is leaving me. I just never saw this coming. How could my wife do this to me? In Texas, they allow women to leave men. How painful, how heartbreaking. They're letting these harlot women ruin marriages, ruin families. It's legal for her to leave me. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit, dude. Guess what? He got an attorney, a divorce attorney, before she even knew he was getting one. So my man was ready. He was setting things up. He was getting prepared. Not only that, but allegedly, he was finagling his finances before all this happened as well. So he was trying to prepare himself for the inevitable shitstorm that was coming. Again, allegedly, I don't necessarily know whether or not he was actually, whether or not he actually messed around with his finances before the divorce happened, but according to some statements, he was, which is horribly illegal, and will fuck him over horribly. And I'm just praying that that happens. I'm finally going to start praying again, guys, and if this prayer is answered, I'm not going to change anything. Let's watch the video.
I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
Wifely things?
Steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's an unreasonable, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect me? Yes.
Hillary, how do you respect the men? How are you respecting the boys? What are you doing for us big burly men who need respect, whose fragile, piddly, glass egos need to be coaxed and fondled and loved and held up on a pedestal? Because God forbid you do anything that offends or bothers me. God forbid you be 8 months pregnant with twins and not want to put this medicine on the dog. Now, the context for this video, I should have given you guys beforehand, sorry, is that Steven Crowder was asking his wife to put medicine on the dogs that she was worried would be toxic to the twins that she's currently pregnant with. You can see she's about to blow those kids out. And she's worried about her kids. She's worried about this medicine. And she said to him, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get the medicine on me. And that's where that glove comment is coming from him as well. He's saying, put on gloves and walk the dog. And she's saying, I don't want to put the medicine on because I'm worried about the toxicity potentially to our kids. Now, the walking the dog thing is obviously different, but she's 8 months pregnant, dude. You are the one who put those kids in there, brother. Take fucking care of your wife. You had all the fun in the world putting those kids in there, I'm sure. But now that it's time to take care of her, now that it's time to help her in her time of need, probably weeks before she was about to have this baby, no, man, no, there's no, you need to get up, you need to step up, do your wifely duties, coax my ego, take care of me.
No, I don't mean no, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
You're not taking the car.
Steven,
You are not
then
taking
I
the
will
car.
ask them to. Would you like me to ask? No, Steven.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
You need some constraints?
Steven.
Like, I can't
Steven.
go. Listen to me. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up?
God, look how fucking bitchy and whiny this guy is. What, he's in his fucking 30s or something, and he's crying like a 15-year-old. I gotta be honest, guys. I remember when I was younger, when I was in high school, I wasn't a very good boyfriend, you know. We all go through that stage, that young love thing. I've been here before. I've been frustrated. I've manifested that frustration in a negative way towards people who didn't deserve it, a significant other who didn't deserve it. But this dude is just whining and crying about it, and it's so disgusting. And let's just keep going.
Get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
Oh, I paused it early. I blew the punchline. That doesn't work either. That shit is awesome, man. You can't write that shit. What are you, fucking 12, man? Did mom say you couldn't have a Lego set? Did mom say you couldn't have your chocolate milk? That doesn't work either. Fuck you, bitch. Cry about it. Your wife is pregnant. You make the most horrific, hateful commentary, some of the most horrific and hateful commentary that gets spread on the mainstream media today. But you're crying because your wife won't fucking put medicine on the dog? Hire somebody to do it. You just turned down a $50 million contract not that long ago. You've got the money, you fucking crybaby. Hire somebody to do it. Why do you only have one car, too? That's a fun, interesting question we should be asking ourselves. Why the fuck do they only have one car? Again, conjecture, but I think that really goes into control. I really think what we're seeing here is a dynamic that's probably pretty frequent, because this argument seems like it's happened before. I mean, they argue through some of these. They kind of leap and bound through some of these points of conversation in a way that reminds me of a repeat conversation, a repeat argument. And it seems to me like it would make the most sense that he's only has one car to restrict her ability to leave and to go anywhere. If he has control of the vehicle, it's in his name, it's bought with his money, he's got the power. And we're seeing that manifest in how he's treating her right here. That power, that frustration, that anger that manifests, that verbal abuse that is used to keep her under control, to keep her docile. And obviously she finally fucking had enough. But time will tell who truly initiated the divorce. Time will tell how it ends up playing out. But yeah, let's just keep going.
Do you understand the difference between one life being set to the second and you're going to be back?
Steven?
The only way out of it is discipline and respect. If the only way out of it, we're at it.
We are in an impasse.
What are we, in the military? The only way out of this is discipline and respect. You fucking chud. It's your wife. What discipline? Respect, yeah, of course, mutual respect, but that's not the respect you're talking about. You're talking about the misogynistic, hyper-masculine respect. A docile, quiet woman who does exactly what you ask when you ask without ever challenging it. This woman is at the end of her rope. She is 8 months pregnant, and no doubt she's endured years of emotional abuse from you. And somehow, this saint manages to keep her cool, keep it calm, and try to work with you despite you being an obnoxious crybaby bitch who, again, is using that crybaby element to try to manipulate her. You're trying to emotionally manipulate her when you go, it doesn't work either. You want her to feel bad. You are manifesting the most childlike fury and frustration in her direction to try to get your way. That is abuse. That is abusive. Let's keep going.
Because you can't have any discipline and respect.
Discipline and respect.
There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Stephen.
Hillary,
Stephen?
you give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Stephen, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Stephen, your abuse is sick.
Your abuse is
Watch
sick.
it.
Sick.
Watch it.
Watch what, Steven? Watch what? Watch it? Dude, what are you trying to say, man? That's a veiled threat. Allegedly. That's conjecture. I don't really know that he's threatening her. Obviously, I'm not saying that as a statement. To me, that is a veiled fucking threat. In my opinion, that is a fucking veiled threat. Watch it? And later on in the video, he says more things in that same vein. And at the end, there's also a statement from the lawyers that, again, I will caveat by saying, I don't actually know this, but it's in the same vein and is even fucking worse. So let's just keep moving.
Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go, I'll get you.
Fucking watch it. I keep pausing at the worst time. Sorry, guys. I promise I'll get good at this. It's just sickening, man. He's escalating. He's escalating with his pregnant wife. He's mad. He's angry. He's not trying to calm things down. He's trying to rile her up more. He's riled up. He can't control his emotions. This stalwart, stoic hero of a man who bravely gets on the stage every day and preaches for what he believes in is reduced to fucking tears. I mean, borderline tears. He's screaming at his wife and bitching because she won't do exactly what he asks. It's fucking sickening.
She need you again. And I need some space. You need to just stop engaging me a little bit. Okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need an A, B, C, and D.
I don't love you. I've never received love from you. That's fucking heinous. So that first statement, I don't love you, obviously a simplistic, bludgeoning motion towards her emotionally. He's lashing out. He's pissy. He's angry that he's not getting his way, and he's lashing out. You never loved me is textbook gaslighting. And I know how much that word got overused when it first came out. I know how much it's still overused occasionally. But it is a legitimate term, and that's what this is. I mean, he is gaslighting her. You never loved me? Who the fuck are you to say whether or not she loved you? All she's trying to do is calm you down and work with you. And get a little fucking breathing room, dude. Let's keep going.
No. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. We're at an impasse. Become someone, day in and day out, worthy of a wife. No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife. As a wife.
Become someone worthy. Worthy of what? She's carrying your kids, dude. She is carrying your children. You nutted twins into her, and now you're screaming at her because she won't walk your dog, because she won't put medicine on your dog. Fuck you, dude. What is wrong with you? What is she not worthy of? What pie in the sky standard are you creating for her that she isn't meeting? Again, let's just keep cruising, guys. Another minute of this shit.
Hillary, come on now.
I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to engage anymore. I'm going to go.
Good for her. She's trying to walk away.
I'll get you to you.
Again, diffusing, trying to bring things down.
I'm committed to you.
Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to that. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves.
I need to.
Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you
She picks up the leash. She's about to put the leash on the dog, but she's so overwhelmed. And here's another thing as well.
committed enough to get the medication as well?
In this stage of pregnancy, the hormones are unbelievable, and the duress and stress her body is under, both hormonally and physiologically, it's unimaginable. Especially as a man, I have no fucking idea what she's going through, and I can only imagine how constant this berating and emotional abuse must be for her. Again, this woman's a fucking hero for trying to stand up to this and surviving it for this long. I genuinely don't understand how people can be this strong, but also be this willing to take this much. I mean, obviously, in a relationship like this, there's so much tied into the complexity of a marriage. There's so much tied into that relationship and in their family building and the kids that they have. So I'm not necessarily saying that she's doing anything wrong by saying. In fact, I'm praising her bravery and her patience with a fucking demonic crybaby bitch like this guy is. Let's keep moving.
Look, you take that in.
I mean, there it was. By his own admission, I just don't have words for this. I've said everything I want to say about those videos. I'm not going to show you any more of that. Obviously, that's sort of the summary of the whole thing. In my future career on YouTube, I'm going to keep coming back to this guy, especially if he survives whatever I imagine is coming for him in this lawsuit and in general. This guy's such a fucking piece of shit. And everything he does, everything he says, we knew it. I mean, he pretended, he did a skit where he knelt on George Floyd's neck within a week of George Floyd getting murdered. I mean, this guy, like, his content has been screaming, demon, animal, piece of shit, asshole. These people, these conservatives, not all of them, I'm not talking about all conservatives, I'm talking about the content creators, I'm talking about the more heinous ones, the ones who are more obviously anti-progressive in general. These guys are showing us on screen what animals they are, what assholes they are, how twisted and maligning and violent their ideology is. And then this video comes out, and frankly, it's surprising, but I don't think anybody should be surprised. I really don't think anybody should be surprised. He's done nothing but show us that this is who he is. This is what he believes. This is what he believes of women, of relationships, their subservience to him. It's sickening and it's tragic. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I encourage you to leave a comment. Talk about what I talked about in the video. Talk about miscellaneous Steven Crowder facts, and maybe reminisce about a fun time you had watching one of his videos on the internet and trying not to vomit. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.